Okay, so today's topic, there are actually two topics that we are going to be learning today. The first one is going to be effusion, and the second one is going to be diffusion. These two topics are really similar to all those topics that we did learn in our previous lectures. So this effusion is really similar to the molecular collisions that we learned. So it is similar to molecular collisions. It is molecular collisions actually, and this guy is going to be similar to viscosity and thermal conductivity. So this guy is going to be similar to viscosity and thermal conductivity. So these are two small topics that we are going to be learning today, and this is going to be our last class for this unit. There are two topics still left, but we'll try to cover them after I uh, take lectures from of the students, fourth sem students. Yes. So what is effusion? What is effusion? And does anybody of you have any idea or just have heard this word effusion? Effusion, just anybody of you have heard this word somewhere in your, probably in your fluid dynamics actually. uh, if you have a box of gas, let me explain it in a simplest manner possible. If you have a box of gas, there are so many particles of gas. If you take a drill and drill a hole through this box, a small hole through this box of area A maybe, then how many molecules are leaving from the hole per unit time? That is what we call effusion. The some of the molecules will leave from this hole, and that process is called effusion. And we are going to study that process, that molecules leaving from this hole. This process we are going to be studying using our statistical mechanical considerations. So today we are going to be studying. First, we are going to be studying effusion, which means just molecules leaving from that hole that we drilled onto the surface of some box, or maybe this same effusion concept will be applicable in some other arenas of physics. In somewhere, it is not only applicable to gases and liquids; it is also applicable to solids, as we will soon see that it is also applicable to solids also. So this is effusion, and it means that suppose a small hole is made on the wall of the container. The molecules of the gas within the container will emerge through that hole. This process is known as effusion. So this is the simplest definition, and what I want to do is I want to talk about some physics. So let's talk about some physics before we start. It is our age old diagram of this cube, and what we want to do is, if we make a hole in this cube somewhere here, let's say, and now in this case, I'm just going to change the coordinate system like this. That let's keep z-axis here and x-axis coming out from the x-axis in this direction. Let's say if we keep x and z like this, then y can come out. Yes, yes. So y will come out of the plane. I'm just changing a little bit coordinate system. It is still a right-handed coordinate system, but till now we are using this as x direction. Now we are going to use this as z direction because we can simplify some mathematics using this coordinate system. So we are doing this. Okay. So there is a hole. This is a hole. Let's suppose that hole is of a unit area. Let's suppose for the simplest cases. So what we are going to do is, we are going to be looking at the gas in this container. I'm just showing one face of the container. The container is still there, extended. There is some gas in this container, and we are going to look at how many molecules will come out from this hole. How many molecules? That is going to be our purpose. So how many molecules come out from this hole? Comes out. Oh, come out from this hole per unit time. This is going to be our purpose, that we want to look at this. And till now you have studied a few theories. How do you think should we calculate this number? How many molecules coming out from this hole? Just your ideas. I want to know your ideas. If you have any ideas, how many number of molecules coming out from this hole? How should we calculate this? This is the wall. Suppose this is a container, and this is the wall where we have made a hole of unit area. How many molecules are coming out from this hole? How are we supposed to calculate this? From the all the previous theory that we have studied in this class only, in this unit only. So I just want to know your thoughts, if you have some ideas, because it is going to be something similar. Yes.
મને બહુ ક્લિયર આઈડિયા તો નથી, પણ આપણે કંઈક એવું કરી શકીએ કે પહેલા તો એ ધ્યાનમાં લઈશું કે કેટલા મોલિક્યુલ્સ આ હોલ જે ડાયરેક્શનમાં છે ઝેડ ડાયરેક્શનમાં, તો કેટલા મોલિક્યુલ્સ ઝેડ ડાયરેક્શનમાં મૂવ કરી રહ્યા છે, અને પછી એને આપણે યુનિટ એરિયા માટે લઈ લઈએ કે કેટલા યુનિટ એરિયામાં કેટલા મોલિક્યુલ્સ હોઈ શકે. એન્ડ બસ આટલો હાલ તો મને આઈડિયા છે, એનાથી વધારે નથી.
Yes, so this is going to be one way of doing this, and this is a very simple way, the straightforward way, that how many molecules are moving in the z direction and how many are those are going to collide in this area. All those molecules those are going to collide in this unit area are going to be emitted from this box, or are going to come out from the box. All the molecules who are going to collide on this area are going to come out from this box. So my whole purpose reduces to finding the number of molecules or number of impacts on this small unit area.
We can,
Yes.
we can do one thing, like as we can have a velocity component in z direction consideration.
Yes.
Then we
Yes.
can multiply by area correction factor, the area of the whole face.
Let's suppose the area is unit for the time. Yes.
So divided by the area of the whole.
Yes.
Sorry, whole area divided by the whole, multiply the whole area divided by the area of the whole face.
Yes.
And we can take the density of the gas.
Yes.
And multiply by Vx and multiply by this correction factor. And we can know how many molecules would collide to that hole or come out from it.
Yes. Yes, how many molecules will collide on this hole, and all those molecules are colliding on this hole will come out.
Yes.
So that is what we really want to know, number of impacts per unit time on this wall, on this hole actually, number of impacts per unit time on this hole, or
Because
on the unit area of the gas.
Normal consideration, the molecules are already colliding to whole face, but
Yes.
we want only those molecules which are colliding to the hole.
Yes.
So for that we'll consider that area correction factor.
Yes, so just for time being, we are supposing that the hole has unit area. So we don't need any area correction factor. We just want to find how many molecules are colliding per unit area. Just all that what we need. If we want to do some sophisticated calculation, then we will multiply this by the area, actual area of the hole if needed. But for the time being, we are only worrying about the unit area, that the hole has a unit area. And all we are considering is number of molecules impacting on this unit area of the wall in the z direction. And that number of impacts, I told you to remember that formula. It is going to be minus infinity to plus infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity, 0 to plus infinity, vz f of v, dvz, dvy, dvx. This is the limit of vz, this is the limit of vy, and this is the limit of vx. I hope you know right now that what I am talking about. This is number density of all the particles are sitting inside the box, who are sitting inside this box. So this is number of impacts per unit area per unit time.
Here again, sir, why we are considering Vx and Vy direction?
Why we are considering Vx and Vy? Because they can have any values of velocity in those Vx and Vy direction. They can come out if they are moving in positive z direction.
So if they have Vx and Vy directions, then isn't that like a low probability that they will travel on Vz much?
So yes, so actually this whole number is not showing that the probability. The whole number we derived it in molecular collisions lecture. So this number, what does it shows is, if I can go step by step, just as we did in molecular collisions lecture, the whole number, what does it shows? It shows that out of all the molecules, there are some f of v into d cube v molecules who has velocity between v and v plus dv. And out of all these molecules, only vz times f of v d cube v molecules are moving in z direction, and n times vz is the area of this cube area of this cylinder. This is Vz, this length is Vz, the number density is n, and from this cylinder all the molecules are going to come out from this cylinder because they have some velocity in positive. All the molecules who has velocity in this direction, positive z direction, they are going to come out from this cylinder, all the molecules, and that cylinder's number of molecules in this cylinder is equal to n times Vz. Per unit time, number of molecules coming through this cross sectional area is n times Vz, and we just want to find n times Vz, but for all the molecules, not for this range of molecules only. So we are multiplying for all the taking integration for all the molecules. Just it is the same impact, number of impact per unit volume, that we this formula that we derived in the molecular collisions. So it is the same formula. This just I'm taking it from there. Yes, if you still have questions, just ask. So we'll be. I want.
I was just confused, like, if there is no need of Vx and Vy direction consideration, then why we are considering it in the integration at the first place?
Okay,
That
so
was
there is a need of considering Vx and Vy direction because particles will be moving in any direction whatsoever, and this f of v is a three-dimensional velocity distribution function. It is not a one-dimensional velocity
okay.
distribution.
I think there must be, like, for Vz only we are considering that it is from 0 to infinity, and
Huh?
particular in that case we are giving more uh,
Focus.
priority to Vz direction.
Because
Just
the hole is in the
as
z,
yes.
and all the
And now
particles are moving on the
at the
along
same
the direction.
yes, at the same time we are also considering that particle is not completely moving in Vz direction. It may be like
Yes.
travel some in Vx and some in Vy, but it is overall its velocity component is Vz.
Yes. So actually, particle is not traveling along any of these three directions. Particle is traveling in somewhere random directions, but we are taking components along these directions. So particle is not actually traveling in Vx or Vy directions. It is actually traveling in somewhere 3D space, and we are taking components of that velocity. I hope you are understanding.
Yes.
Yes. So if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis, particle is traveling somewhere here. This is its actual velocity, but we are taking components of that particle's velocities. That if this particle has some components, so if the particle in the same coordinate system, x, y, and z, is traveling in this direction, then it has the velocity component in z direction as negative. So this particle won't be able to come out from that hole that we were talking about. It can come out through this hole, but it can't come out. So yes, so particle is actually not moving in x, y, or z direction. Its component can have any values in x, y, and z x and y directions, but its component must be positive along z direction for that particle to come out from that hole. So this is what we are talking about here.
Okay, so thank you.
There is a very subtle distinction. I am very happy that you brought this point because from your doubt, I can say that many of other students also might not have got this, that why I'm using this minus infinity to infinity in this. So what I am talking about is not their actual velocity. Particle is not moving in x or y direction or z direction even. It is moving randomly. We are talking about its components. It can have any component in x and y direction. It can be moving like this, moving like this, moving like this, moving like this. It can be moving like in any way possible, but it has to, its z component has to be in the positive direction so that its eventual motion is along the z direction. That's what I want to really emphasis upon.
Okay.
Yes, I hope it is clear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So anybody else who had this doubt, also I hope they also have it cleared, because I may have miscommunicated in the previous class, but now it is clear. Okay, so this is number of impact per unit area per unit time, and this many number of molecules are going to collide on this hole, and they are going to come out from that hole. But since we need to solve this integral to find out the number actually, so our journey starts of solving this integral, and it is really simple once you have solved the previous classes integral. So we are just going to change this into the spherical polar coordinate system, so that solving this integral we are changing this into spherical polar coordinate system. So nu is going to be n times phi is going to be 0 to 2 pi, theta is going to be how much, and v is going to be how much. I just want you to tell me. And in place of Vz, I am writing V cos theta as it is written in spherical polar coordinate system. In place of Vz, I am writing V cos theta. In place of f of v, I am just writing f of v. In place of dvz, I am writing dvz into dvx. In place of dqv, eventually I am writing v square sine theta d theta d phi dv. This is what I am writing in place of dqv. This is in place of dqv, and this is in place of vz. And I just want to know limits from your end, that what should be the limit of phi. Actually, I am not writing the limits for phi also. This may be incorrect. I just want to know from your end what should be the limits. So if this is z direction, this is x direction, and this is y direction, then particle has this velocity. So this theta, if this theta is greater than, this is the theta, if this theta is greater than pi by 2, then particle's velocity will be in which direction? This theta is greater than pi by 2, then
X direction.
Not
Negative
again,
z. Negative z.
yes, negative z. Actually, it is 3D diagram, so I need to do it like this. Okay, let's take 3 axes. Let's take this as z axis, and this is x, and this y. This is a 3D velocity. Just take it out somewhere like this. This is a 3D velocity, and this angle, 3D angle, is theta. I hope you know the spherical polar coordinate system. So it is like this. It is somewhere around here. This is phi. This is phi, and this is theta. So if this theta is greater than pi by 2, then this vector of velocity will point in negative, its component will be in negative z direction. So it is going down this xy plane that we were talking about. So this is, my hand is xy plane, this is z axis, and if this velocity, this angle is theta. So this theta is, if it is pi by 2, till pi by 2 it is okay, but after pi by 2 it will point like this. So if instead of going into positive z direction, the particle is going in negative z direction. So theta should be from 0 to pi by 2. Phi should be from 0 to 2 pi, because it can move in any direction like this. It can move, particle can move in any direction until and unless it is moving along the positive z axis. And velocity's magnitude in spherical polar coordinate system is going to be from 0 to infinity, because this is the magnitude. So it is not from minus infinity to plus infinity. It is the magnitude of this vector, which is always from 0 to infinity. I hope this is clear. And I seriously hope that you have learned spherical polar coordinate system somewhere in your mathematics or physics or somewhere. Or if you have don't learn, if you haven't learned it, just go to Griffith's Electrodynamics and read it. It is that clear. Yes. And if you have not learned it and still you have, I want to ask questions, just ask me questions right now. Yes. No need to raise your hand. Ask.
Sir, if we take velocity in fourth quadrant, then also it will move in positive z direction.
In quadrant, here there are octants. So there are 8 sections that we are talking about. 4 sections on the above xy plane and 4 sections below the xy plane. So here there are octants in 3-dimensional coordinate system. So I'm little bit confused from your question, that what you are talking about, because there are 8 sections. If you are sitting in a room, your room is the one section, the next room is the other section, the room on the left side is other section, the room in cross diagonally from you is 4th section. So there are 4 sections, and in the ground floor also there are 4 sections, or in the upward floor also there are 4 sections. So those 8 sections together make this 3D geometry. So that's what it is. So I am little bit confused from your question. Can you repeat it?
Sir, I'm asking that
Yes.
if we take velocity in negative x, but though it will be in positive z direction.
Yes, it is okay. That's what we are changing phi from. That's why we are changing phi from 0 to 2 pi. So phi means its component, the velocity is component on xy plane. So if phi is greater than pi by 2, then what will happen is velocity is along negative x and positive y, but along positive z. So this phi can change from 0, this velocity, if it is pointing along the x-axis, if the x is coming towards my side is x-axis. So if velocity is pointing towards x-axis, it is phi equal to 0. Then phi can change up to pi, up to 3 pi by 2, and up to 2 pi. So it can rotate in any of these four sections. That upper part of the xy plane, it can rotate in any direction. It is still in the positive z, yes. So it is still in the, yes, it is possible. It can have it. So that's why we are taking phi from 0 to 2 pi, because that phi is what rotates it along this plane. So if this is the velocity, maybe, then this phi is somewhere here. So it is phi is greater than pi by 2 along the negative x-axis. Phi is somewhere here greater than pi, or here it is greater than 3 pi by 2. So phi can be on this plane. So phi can be anything.
Yes, sir, I got.
Yes, thank you. So now, any more questions? This dqv is written like this. I hope you guys know this. And this vz is written like this. And this is n. Now I am just solving this integration directly. I'm not going to solve it step by step. It is nothing but n pi into 1 divided by 4 pi. I just multiplied it. You try to do this integration. Okay, it is just simple. F of v 4 pi v square dv. This v square, I multiplied it with 4 pi and divided it with 4 pi. These two integrations I solved, and the answer was pi. Just I took it out. The answer was pi. And this is the integration. This is the integration that I solved. We can cancel this pi with this pi. No problem. But it remains n by 4 outside, and this integration, that's what remains. Now, what is this 4 pi v square dv? If you talk about spherical polar coordinate system, what is this 4 pi v square dv? If you take a sphere in 3D of radius v, and then you take a next sphere just outside of it of the radius v plus dv, this sphere has radius v plus dv, then the volume of this section is how much?
4 pi v square dv.
Yes, it is 4 pi v square dv. It means, what does 4 pi v square dv into f of v? What does it mean? It means that number of particles. I should write it here. Into f of v. F of v is the distribution function. So total this number will mean that number of particles having velocity between v and v plus dv. Is it clear? In this section, how the velocity is distributed is governed by this guy, and the volume is governed by this guy. So it is just like this, mod psi square dx. It means the probability of finding the particle with within this range x and x plus dx. So it is probability of finding the particles having velocity between v and v plus dv. So it is not number of particles, it is probability of particles. And since the last two terms are probability distribution, some kind of probability distribution, and this is a standalone variable, we can say this integration as something like this. So this nu is equal to 1 by 4 n was there, and this is average value of v. So from where I did use this average value of v, I've taught everything just apart from the spherical polar coordinate system in somewhere or some class or the other. So this is that kind of theory that somebody of you asked me this question, that how I'm writing this average value as this. So generally for any function f of x, the average value is given by f of x times rho of x dx. This rho of x dx is the probability that a particle is between this value sitting between this distance x and x plus dx. So this is the probability. Rho of x into dx is the probability. So f of x average value, we write it like this. So this is the velocity's average value, that probability of particles having velocity between v and v plus dv. So this is average value of v. This whole integral is average value of v. I hope it is clear, or it is not clear, just kindly bring me questions quickly, because we need to complete other topic also.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes. Hi.
Sir, v equal to 1 by 4 into n into average value of v.
This is new actually. Yes, new.
न्यू
Yes.
या v में पता नहीं चल रहा है.
Yes.
तो सर ये न्यू है तो वो n है या मतलब कि n यहाँ पे मैंने बुक्स में देखा था तो n इक्वल टू 1/4 पाई इंटू स्मॉल n इंटू एवरेज वैल्यू ऑफ v लिखा हुआ है तो इसकी वजह
हाँ. So yes, in your book it is written as n dot. Some dot is also there on the n. So it is just the same thing. I've just changed this notation. That's what it is. Just change this notation because in the same book, the n dot and nu means the same thing. So in the article of molecular collision, they use this notation of nu, and in this article of effusion, they use the notation of n dot. So I just wanted to make sure that we use the same notation throughout. So this is the same notation. This is new. So v looks
Okay,
like
sir,
this,
okay.
my v looks like this, and nu looks like this, some round edge.
ओके
સર આ
ओके
બધું પર યુનિટ ટાઈમ માટે જ છે ને?
Ha, per unit time, per unit area. Number of
Okay.
particles coming out per unit time, per unit area.
એટલે r² નું v² લખાય છે.
Ha, yes.
જય શું કીધું લાસ્ટમાં સર એ સમજાયું નહીં.
શેનું?
સ્ક્વેર માં લખાય છે એ સમજાયું નહીં.
So what he told is he was imagining a space dimension and I was talking about velocity dimension. That's what he wanted to.
ઓકે ઓકે ગોટ ઇટ આર સ્ક્વેર ના બદલે v સ્ક્વેર. હા સમજાયું.
So this is in the velocity dimension. I need to write this velocity axis vx, vy, and if vx and vy are going like this, so this is minus vz. Okay. So this is in the velocity dimension, not in the usual space dimension. Okay, so I hope this gives us number of molecules coming out from that hole, because these are the number of molecules who are going to collide on this wall. So they are the number of molecules coming out from the hole. This is what it is, per unit area, per unit time. So if you are given the area of the hole, you need to multiply this with the area. That's what you need to do. If you are told to calculate it for this much area, you need to multiply this number by that much area. So this was the simple integration and simple solving. If you find it any difficult, just kindly contact me tomorrow. Just try to solve this. It is just 2 steps process and you can solve this. Just kindly let me know tomorrow if you have any difficulties in solving this. Yes. If I can do this, my mathematics is really poor. Then if I can do this, I did it here in my notes. So if I can do this, then you can also do this. It's really simple. In your book, there are typing errors again. So they took this direction as Vx and still took this V cos theta. So Vx generally we don't take as V cos theta, we take Vz as V cos theta. So in your book, there is a typing error, or they have taken some different coordinate system somehow. But our coordinate system, in our usual coordinate system that we are dealing with, we take this as Vz. We don't take this as Vx. Yes. So there are some type.
જો આપણે પહેલેથી જે vx ડાયરેક્શનમાં હોલ લીધો હોત એન્ડ એ પ્રમાણે યાર ઇન્ટિગ્રેશન ને બધું સોલ્વ કર્યો તો આન્સર સેમ જ આવ્યો હોત.
No. But yes, but that would be the mathematical problem. That would have been the mathematical problem. If we have taken, yes, it should come out same because the limits will change. If we take that hole in the x direction, then limits will change.
I mean, even here also we are taking it in some random direction and we are taking z direction in that direction actually.
Yes, we are taking z direction in that. So limits will change. Yes, answer should be same. Limits will change. If we are taking a hole in the x direction, limits will change, but the answer will remain same. Yes.
એટલે મતલબ સર આ જે નીચે એક્સપ્રેશન આવ્યું n/4 ઇન્ટિગ્રેશન ઓફ 0 ટુ ઇન્ફિનિટી. હા મતલબ આ જે ઇન્ટિગ્રેશન વાળું ફોર્મ આવ્યું એ મતલબ અલગ હોઈ શકે પણ જે તમે એવરેજ n વાળું લીધું એ સેમ હશે.
This is going to be the same. It has to be the same. Yes, because we took the axis. It doesn't matter that how do we orient the axis, set of axis. Physics won't change, and this is the physics. It won't change.
Okay, thank you sir.
Okay. Yes, try to do it with taking x direction in your mind. So this component will change. It will be v sine theta cos phi, and this area will remain the same. So it will be v sine theta into cos phi. And now you take the integration in proper limits, you are going to get the same answer. Okay. So this is number of molecules, and for Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, that's what we are going to talk about today. This result, the result of number of impacts, number of molecules coming out from the hole, is true for any distribution function. May it be Maxwell-Boltzmann, may it be Fermi-Dirac distribution, may it be Bose-Einstein distribution. It is true for any particles following any of these distributions, because we never took any particular distribution function in mind while deriving this. So for Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, it means there is a box and there is some gas inside this box. This gas is having fairly low density. So they follow Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. And in Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, if you try to calculate this, then this average value of velocity comes out to be 8 kT over pi m. And that's how the number of impacts, this new number of impacts per unit time per unit area, comes out to be P by under root 2 pi mkt. How is it? Let's calculate it. Mu equal to 1 by 4 n into under root 8 kT over pi m. And this is nothing but, so now what is the pressure? PV equal to nRT for ideal gas. PV equal to nRT, so P is n kT. PV is equal to mu RT, or PV equal to n kT. So this is n kb into T, and if we take V here, then it is P equal to n kBT. So we want to write this whole value as somewhere around some pressure with using the value of pressure. So what we are going to do is we are going to write in place of n P by kBT. It is 1 by 4 P by kBT under root 8 kBT over pi m. And if you cancel this kBT, then here there is some root, and this 4 can become 16 and can come down as 2. So you can
pressure ની definition માં કઈ લોચો નહીં લાગતો.
Why?
એટલે PV is equal to nRT હોય, R is equal to constant અલગ છે ને KB constant.
PV equal to mu RT. It is mu RT. So n in that n is number of moles. PV equal to nRT. If we are writing it PV equal to nRT, then this n is number of moles. It is not this number density. That's why we use PV equal to mu RT in physics, because two guys look alike, this n and this n. In chemistry, we generally use PV equal to nRT, but in physics, we use PV equal to mu RT. So this is number of moles. Now you can bring question. Yes, you can bring the question. I'm sorry,
No sir, it's okay.
now it is good, right? Because these are two different equations, PV equal to mu RT and PV are same equations written in different manner. This is with number of molecules, and this is with the number of moles. So they are written in different manner.
So mu into R is equal to KB.
Mu into R is equal to n into KB.
તો પછી V નીચે જાય તો n by V તો નંબર ડેન્સિટી નહીં થઈ જાય.
હા તો થઈ ગઈ ને. હા થઈ.
તો પછી સર કે R નું અને mu ને R એનું KB માં કેવી રીતના થઈ ગયું? Because n અને V તો n માં occupied થઈ ગયા.
Okay. Just I want to this is from your kinetic theory of gas. Let me just repeat it.
Actually ભૂલાઈ ગયું સર, કઈ નહીં, sorry.
So PV equal to mu RT and NA upon KB. NA into KB is equal to R. This is an Avogadro number into Boltzmann constant equal to R. This is how you do the calculations. So what happens is, for 1 mole, there are NA number of molecules. So for mu mole, if there are n number of molecules, how do you write n? N is NA times mu. So here you can write mu as, how you can write mu is n by NA. So just put it here, n by NA into R into T, and R by NA is nothing but KB. Just take these two guys, and it is KB.
Now it is clear, sir.
Yes, it's simple derivation.
Thank you, sir.
So yes. Anybody else has any doubts? This is for ideal gas, this is one of the question. Okay, yeah, I can ask you this kind of question in an exam, that for Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, find out the number of molecules living through this required area. Suppose say 1 meter, 1 meter square, 1 meter square of area, or 2 meter square of area. How many number of molecules will be leaving? You need to calculate this. I'll be providing with the parameters of the gas, but I can give some questions from these formulas if you understand it properly. You know, this is coming from really simple mathematics. Okay, now there is another example that is wonderful example. If you take a metal, now till now we were talking about some gas, but if you take a metal, then what happens is if you take a metal, then you heat up a metal, then what happens is, due to heating the metal, the molecules will start evaporating. And those molecules of the metal who will start evaporating, you can consider them as a molecules effluxing from the hole. By efflux, I mean effusion. Molecules effusing from the hole. So by evaporation, you can think about the evaporation, visualize evaporation like this. And if this process is done at low vapor pressure, you can visualize this process as effusion. And this process of effusion, you can actually use is the simple equation, that number of molecules evaporating. I'm sorry for the spelling. Evaporation. Yes, I think it is the spelling. I don't know. Evaporating from the unit area per unit time can also be equal to nu. And if they are following Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, if it is given into your question, that just for approximate reason, just treat them as following. If they are following Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics or not, then if they are following Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, you can use directly the formula for velocity as we use here, and you can find out this number, V equal to P by under root 2 pi mkt, for the evaporation process also. So there is one question in your book that you guys need to be solving. I'll be giving you as next tutorial set. That will be your last tutorial set. So there will be 3 or 4 questions in that tutorial set. So with this we are. Yes.
આ કેસમાં m શું લઈશું? mass
Total matter.
Okay.
If you are talking about, there is a question, you will do it, then you will understand.
Okay.
How are we going to take the mass? Mass should be of total metal. How much? If you want to know how many molecules are evaporating, then you want to know how many molecules are evaporating from the total metal itself. So that's what you want to know. So this is the example.